Addressing COSATU's virtual May Day celebrations, ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa emphasized the need for adequate and timely access to COVID-19 vaccines. He said the lives and livelihoods of workers depended on these.
Workers of the world must unite to compel developed countries and these large pharmaceutical companies to display more social solidarity in addressing this pandemic. We call on COSATU and the rest of the mass democratic movement to intensify their efforts to join the progressive forces in our country and throughout the world, as COSATU has already done.
The theme was echoed by the DA, which said the country was not safe until all workers and frontline health workers were safe. The party further slammed government's rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines.
For us, commemorating this particular Workers' Day means putting a particular spotlight on government's shoddy and very much criminally slow rollout of the vaccine of COVID-19.
While the EFF said the plight of workers had deteriorated further under the leadership of the current administration.
The trade union movement of South Africa has abandoned the struggle of workers under the administration of Cyril Ramaphosa and the ANC. We have seen mass retrenchments, an increase in exploitative labor practice, and many companies continue to exploit workers.
The IFP and FF Plus have called on local workers to be prioritized in the face of high unemployment exacerbated by the pandemic. They also lamented the recent decision by the Department of Human Settlements, Water and Sanitation to bring 24 Cuban engineers to the country to help resolve water infrastructure issues.
The IFP stands opposed to the recently arrived Cuban engineers, while South Africa have more than 120 engineers who can take up this job.
In the midst of one of the greatest unemployment crises in South African history, the government opts to employ Cuban engineers while we have perfectly eligible engineers in our own country to fill these posts, for one example.
Other parties have painted a bleak picture of the life of ordinary workers in South Africa.
It's a pity and very unfortunate that the majority of workers in South Africa are still working under extreme and harsh conditions. They earn mere slavery wages while working in shocking conditions.
We are calling for the removal of all corrupt leaders, the recovering of the embezzled funds, and for law enforcement to decisively deal with the corrupt and bring to an end the reign of terror which has led to job losses and the exploitation of workers.
Workers are losing their jobs in their thousands. Retrenchments is the order of the day. Workers are having the power in their hands to change things in this country.
On Workers' Day, we lament the state of our economy, stripped bare by looting, maladministration, and now the COVID pandemic, and the fact that millions of people don't have jobs.
While the ACDP has taken this opportunity to pay tribute to frontline healthcare workers.
We would particularly like to thank all the healthcare workers and doctors who are at the front line of fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. We are deeply grateful for all your sacrifices and hard work and commitment.
Meanwhile, the UDM in a statement committed itself to the struggle of workers in the country. Natasha Piri, SABC News, Johannesburg.